Hey everybody, this is Phil from Zade Comics. I'm the writer of the upcoming graphic novel called Magic Cop, launching on Indiegogo in August. I am one half of the two best looking brothers in all of comics, and today we're doing a Shazam review of Shazam number 4 by Geoff Johns. And let's dig right down into it because this comic's super fun. All right. So we got this crazy cool cover, and where we left off in the last issue, issue 3, was the team, the family, I should say, got split up. Some of the kids got thrown into the wildlands. Another group of kids got thrown into the game lands, and Mary and Billy were left in the fun lands, having to deal with Kid King. As we see here, it takes place, the intro's right off the bat. We're in the wildlands, and Geoff Johns tells us this. We have this really cool splash page of a tiger waking up in this regular, seemingly regular world. But the big establishing shot is what Geoff Johns wants to get across here is this is how they live every day. The wildlands is Earth, but instead of humans, it's humanoid animals. And we see kind of like social roles in here as this tiger comes out of his house saying it's a beautiful day. And some rumors have started that there's been sightings of humans and it's unsettling, but the mayor has been telling stories that humans are extinct. And we see this little pug guy. Everybody loves pugs now in comics for some reason, but this pug and these animals are hassling this tiger, saying that he's been reading some literature that's been outlawed, and this book right here is how to refrain from eating your friends, and they basically knock him over the head and are going to take him in because he's reading a little illegal literature. So we jump over to Darla and Freddie. This is where we left off in issue 3. Darla and Freddie were thrown into like this portal and ended up in the wildlands. And Darla, being the fun loving, animal loving little girl she is, she sees this humanoid cat and she she wants to hug him, but all these animals are super afraid of the humans. So Freddy, right off the bat, he notices something's wrong and he wants to get away from the situation. So they start running, and the animals catch him before they could say Shazam. And when they do try to say it, nothing happens. Now we are in back in the Funlands in this big elevator. Kid King is taking Shazam, Billy Batson, to this place called the Below. Billy wanted to know where Mary went, and Kid King is about to show him. He talks about how he feels tricked, that he thought Billy and the other children were actually children, the other members of the Marvel family, or the Shazam family, I should say. But they turn into adults, and he feels betrayed because he hates adults. He hated his own parents, and saying that his parents resented him for existing. But he's going to show him where Mary's at in this place called the Below. And what we'll see now is this horrific sight. This is what happens to all the kids when they grow up, and to the parents that try to come looking for the kids. So building a narrative here with this long timeline of Kid King never aging and being the king of the Funlands, it kind of reminds me of like Neverland and Peter Pan. And I know that some stories, I think, what was that show on ABC that is all the fairy tale stuff? They made Peter Pan out to be this bad guy villain, and Hook be the hero of the story. So this is kind of similar in where this is like Neverland, but the kids, when they do age, they get enslaved, thrown into this, and working in the Below to keep the Funlands running. And we see that Mary is down here. Skip ahead to the wildlands. Darla and Freddie are caged up, being paraded around town, going to the courthouse, and we have this funny exchange between a mother and her child. The kid rabbit being freaked out by the humans because maybe he's never seen the humans before, but it's scary. And the mom says, "Don't worry, they're going to be put on trial and fed to the tigers." And Freddy's like, "Tigers? Oh no!" Back on the Earthlands, because remember, all this is happening in one night, and the Marvel family's parents are worried sick because they went upstairs and they saw that all of the six kids were gone. So the police come over while Billy Batson's father is here. The police come over asking the foster parents questions, saying that you have six kids and how could they have gone missing? But Billy's father is seemingly blaming himself. He feels bad and he says this is just like the last time, which is it comes to a shock to the parents because Billy said that he could never find his father, and Billy's father says that's not entirely true. Now here in the game lands, it's a new world, which is really interesting to me because I mean games are you gotta video games have been around, late 70s, right? Um, Big video game boom in the 80s, but when you have mystical lands like this, it's very interesting that Jeff threw in a world that would be so modern in something that is so old worldly as magic. But the game lands is like a video game, and the way they set this up is Eugene and I can't remember the other guy's name, but the two brothers, the Shazam brothers, are here. They just get dropped into the game lands, and everybody in game lands has a score. So they're talking to these what they call refs. They're kind of like police officers of the game lands, and he his score goes down for hassling the refs, and they dip out of there and go try to find a way back to Earthland or Funland. And you run into this Tron looking guy. It literally looks ripped out of Tron, and he tells you that no one leaves Gamelands unless you can get your points up to 1,000,000 points, and then you gain access to the CPU, and you have to beat the Game Master. And I love this panel because the Game Master is totally on like this weird Tron cycle bike, and he's footing this guy in the face, which is really just random to put that in there. But I want to take a second here to just evaluate what Geoff Johns is doing. He's basically split the Shazam book up into a team book where, it started off as the getting to know the family in the first few issues, and now he's split them up and is drawing, different storylines going in different directions so he could tell multiple stories at once. And this is a great way to tell long form storytelling. So maybe in the next issue, he just focuses on the kids in the game lands and the wildlands, and then the issue after that, maybe they'll go back to Billy. So splitting these characters up really allows him to take his time telling multiple stories and fleshing out these characters' personalities. And remember, in this issue so far, we haven't even seen Dr. Savannah and Mr. Mind. Um, so he just has a lot of story to work with here and a lot of room at a month to month basis because that's what this is it's Shazam's first monthly in a bunch of years. So Jeff is really killing it. Second to last page here, we see the empty, deserted Rock of Eternity because the Marvel family is lost in these magical lands. And then we hear a voice. The council sealed off the lands from one another for a reason. You stupid boy. And as soon as I uh, read this, I began to read it in a very specific voice. The monster lands are still closed, though for how long? I do not know. In a very deep voice, and subconsciously, I already knew before I even turned the page that bam, it was Black Adam. Look at this guy, straight out of the New 52, Geoff Johns, Gary Frank Shazam, and he looks totally badass. Billy Batson, you have no idea what you've done. Straight out of Conduct. He looks great, and this is a great cliffhanger because look what it ends with: Black Adam to the rescue. So what are we going to expect in the next issue? I have no idea. Black Adam is kind of a character that's on the edge of good and evil. He always wants to be the wizard's champion. He was the champion of magic before Billy Batson was chosen, and then he went mad with power, and the wizard chose Billy to fight Shazam. But he's always trying to be a better him, and he always falls from the heavens. But we got to see what's going to happen in the next issue. Geoff is killing it with this run because literally I could just sit down and read this really quick. There's a lot of action in it. It there's not a lot of fat to it. It's all cut off. It's a super quick read, like I said, and I'm loving it. This just made my hype levels go up even more because now we're bringing in Black Adam, and I can't wait to see what we're gonna get into with him. So thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, let me know what you think of Shazam. I can't wait for the movie. I'm going to see it this weekend. Let me know what you guys thought of the movie or how excited you are for the movie. Smash that like button and subscribe if you guys enjoyed this video. We're trying to make it to 50 subscriptions so we can get our own URL by the end of the month. And ring that bell next to the subscription button so you know we are putting when we put up new videos. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Good news, everybody. Zaid Comics has its own newsletter, and if you subscribe to it, you'll be notified exactly when Magic Cop goes live on Indiegogo for our graphic novel crowdfunding campaign. Now, if you back the campaign and are part of the newsletter, you'll get some exclusive content that's not available for the other backers. In addition to this, we're putting out a pilot issue called Magic Cop Karaoke Express. Now, it's a 12-page ash can that's coming out on Free Comic Book Day, but if you're part of the newsletter, then you'll be able to read it a day early. Now, look for the link down in the description below and enjoy the video.